So you're interested in joining a motorcycle club? Definitely some things you need to know. We're going to talk about that in today's video. Guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping and hanging out. I appreciate you and your time. Today we're going to talk about something that may be a little taboo for some people, but we're going to talk about basic principles of motorcycle clubs and like how you make your way to get in. I have had a lot of people talk about motorcycle clubs. I am in a club myself, but I separate my club stuff from my YouTube channel intentionally because it's two different things, and there are other reasons as well. But when you look at trying to get into a motorcycle club, a lot of people have questions. So if you are a person that has interest in maybe joining a club, I will tell you the first and most important thing is that you find yourself a club that you understand, share, and support the purpose of the club. Now, all motorcycle clubs have a different purpose or meaning for existence. And yes, most of it is camaraderie, brotherhood, fellowship, that kind of stuff. And that is something that is to be understood. But you have some clubs that are charitable clubs. You have some clubs that do different things, support different functions or purposes. You have military clubs, law enforcement clubs. I've seen a club that is like a recovering alcoholics riding club. So there are all kinds of different purposes and meanings behind a club. So you need to find one that, if this is something you're interested in, that you share in that same endeavor as to what that club is. Now, when most people think about motorcycle clubs, they immediately think Hell's Angels, outlaws, outlaw motorcycle clubs. And not all clubs are 1% clubs. Years ago, when motorcycle clubs really started to become like a thing, guys were returning from the war and needed some fellowship and camaraderie with like-minded people. They had a hard time adjusting back to society, so the attachment for them was guys that were in the war, and they understood a different meaning of brotherhood. So this is how things ended up starting out. There was a motorcycle rally in Hollister, California, and some guys were having some fun. Some fighting broke out essentially, and a lot of people became concerned that people who ride motorcycles were all, bad people out there starting trouble, being hooligans. And the American Motorcycle Association basically made a press release and said that not all motorcycle clubs are of that mindset. 99% of motorcyclists out there are good, law-abiding people and don't cause problems. It is the other 1% that is the element of the issue. So the 1% phrase stuck and is a thing. So when you're aligning with a club, you just got to know who you're aligning with, okay? Now, you're not probably going to find a lot of information online about some clubs. They do not display their club business. So if this is something that you're interested in doing and you talk to a member and you have some interest, you got to be careful about what questions you specifically ask. Club business is club business. It stays that way. Don't ask to join some clubs. That is like a no-no. It's a turn-off. My suggestion to you is hang around with those folks. Go to some rides and events if you're invited, or if you go to some public events where they're at, you can always just kind of hang out. At some point, they will kind of take you in as a hang around, like you're an official person that they invite to events, and allow them to hang out with them. At that point, you can start asking the member that you're aligned with, maybe a little bit more about the process to getting in, and you can let them know your interest of wanting to join. But all clubs have a process. Now, some clubs' process is much easier. Some clubs, the process is a lot more stringent and extensive. So at some point, if they ask you to join, like I said, let them ask you, and they will ask you to be a prospective member, a prospect, or a probationary member. And when that happens, you are official, attachment to that organization. I would offer you the suggestion that if they ask you to join and become a prospective member, that you know what you're getting yourself into. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean this in the most friendly way to you as possible. Because if you go in as a prospect to a club, they're going to want you to know information about who they are, like history. You should know chapter officers. One of the members that has asked you if you are interested to join will become your sponsor in most clubs, and that is your go-to person for answers. And as a prospective member, a probationary member of that club, there are rules and things that you're going to need to know. So you want to make sure that you have that information up front and know what is expected of you. I would always suggest trying to be a good prospect. Have an understanding of what the expectation is. Make sure that you are watching after members of the club. Make sure you understand what you're supposed to do and not supposed to do. A lot of clubs, if you have a prospective member, they're not allowed to participate in an actual chapter meeting, or may be referred to as church, where club business is talked about. You're not a patched member, so you got to understand what those rules are. You may have to stand outside and watch motorcycles while everybody else is at a bar having a good time. Know what is expected of you so that you can commit to this wholeheartedly and know what it is that you need to be doing. I would not want to go into something like this kind of half-assing it, not knowing the expectations and ideology of what it is I'm supposed to do, just kind of not who I am. So know what's to be expected of you. All right, behave in a way that the club wants you to behave. A lot of times as a prospect, you're not allowed to talk to people. I have a guy that I know, and he is a prospect in a club, and I saw him not too long ago, and he was with his club members. He had his vest on as well. He kind of nodded at me, and I have an understanding of that club and what their rules are, and I knew that he was not allowed to speak. Cool, no big deal. So just know what the rules are so you don't find yourself in trouble down the road. And one of the big things that I would also tell you getting into this is you're going to get out of the club what you put into it. If you put in 50% effort, you're going to get 50% in return. So go into it with the mindset that you're going to be deeply involved in this. This is a commitment. For some people, it is a lifetime commitment. So make sure that you're putting in the right amount of effort when you start out. So if you are interested in joining a club, hopefully some of these things helped you. Like I said, it's very vague. I'm not giving any specific information to any specific club or any of that stuff. Just some general information, because a lot of people ask, and there's just not a lot of public information out there. And what is the right way to go about looking at getting into a motorcycle club. So hopefully you found something useful. If you have a comment, please leave a comment down below, and don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Help the channel grow. I appreciate all of your support. Until next time, ride safe, make the most of your one turn around to this silly life that we have, and enjoy it and be happy. Thank those that allow us the ability to be out riding free and enjoying what we do: motorcycles, sunshine, and brotherhood. Until next time, we'll catch you later.